economy is bad.
Everything's shit. Life is shit. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, if social media is not real, then why is it that this podcast is real?
You know what they say, desperate times call for.
Starting a podcast.
Why desperate times? Why now?
And what made us think this is a good idea? Let's talk about it.
From idea to execution, this is how it all started.
This is Desperate Times.
Welcome back to another episode of Desperate Times. I am Sakshi.
And I'm Varun.
Today we're going to be talking about how this name came to be, since that's a popular question a lot of y'all are asking. But before that, we want to acknowledge that the first episode, in our opinion, was a little so-so. A lot of y'all have been super nice about it, which we appreciate. But it was our first time and we're only learning. So we're hoping it gets better from here.
And we've definitely kept all your feedback in mind. So we're gonna hopefully find ways to incorporate it and make this a lot more interesting for you guys to watch.
So let's dive in on how this name came to be. It sounds super funny because every time I search up Desperate Times, it shows Desperate Wives, to which I'm like, why do I want to know about Desperate Wives? And then there's a whole podcast called Desperate on Desperate Wives. So guys, do not confuse our name with their name. It's totally different. Different topics completely.
But I mean, hey, it's a popular show, so can't blame people for looking it up, right?
Have you watched it though? I don't remember watching it at all.
Nah, I watch a lot of trashy TV, and a lot of people who know me know that I've watched a lot of trashy TV, but I that's not a show that I've gotten onto, and I don't plan to.
Anyway, talking about Desperate Times and how the name came about to be, it's actually a super funny story because what started as a LinkedIn post or a hesitancy to post a LinkedIn post
Also that
is what gave birth to this podcast.
Yep. So I'll just tell you a little about it. Social media trends, all about them. As you know from the first episode, we're two social media marketers, or just two marketers in general. And Sakshi is a lot more active on LinkedIn than I am. She's been at it for.
I try.
Yeah, she's been.
I try.
You've been at it for a while. Don't be humble about it. But yeah, so she's been posting a whole bunch, and I just every now and then post a little bit.
It's not good, guys. It's not good.
So I just post a little bit every now and then, and I noticed that there was this one trend about I have tried X, I have tried Y, but I highly recommend Z. And I was, do you remember? Do you remember seeing that?
I've seen that trend.
You haven't?
No, I haven't seen that trend. No, that's the whole thing. I thought it was just an idea that you got. I didn't know that was a trend.
Oh no, it was definitely a trend. It was definitely a trend. I saw a whole bunch of it, and I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe let's try catching on to this. At least I can get some humor out of it, if nothing, because I'm in a situation.
So much for being active on LinkedIn.
Yep, clearly you missed that one. But I've been in a situation where I'm job hunting right now, and I wanted to make light out of the whole situation. Sakshi knows about this a little bit more. But
that's a whole story. You want to go into details about our daily rants about job search?
That is plenty. That is plenty. We can still get into it. We can get into it then for sure. But how this kind of happened is I saw that format and I was like, okay, let's make light of the situation. And I went, and this is something Sakshi doesn't know. I went to ChatGPT and I was like, okay, hey, give me some prompts. I want to write something funny. This is sad that I had to even do this. I've been a writer for my job previously.
As a marketing, yeah.
I've been a writer for my job. I shouldn't have to go to ChatGPT for anything that I'm looking for in terms of writing, but I did take a prompt. And
anything to make life easy.
At this point, yeah. So I took that prompt and I kind of ran with it, made a few edits here and there, and the prompt effectively, and if I can, I'll like plug it somewhere on this video right now. But I landed up putting up a LinkedIn. Before I even put it up, actually, I went to Sakshi with the post and I was like, hey, this seems funny. I think I want to post on LinkedIn, but I don't know, man. It's going to seem cringe. And
I was like, just do it.
That's what it's all about, right? Gotta take the leap. So I decided to go ahead, posted it on LinkedIn, and it was something along the lines of, I have tried editing my CV. I have tried applying to every job in sight, but I highly recommend starting a podcast called Desperate Times. And that was that. And it was the next day when Sakshi reached out to me being like, do you think we want to do this?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good idea, I thought. And here we are filming for Desperate Times. So it kind of went like one day we were talking about that post where Varun was hesitant to even post about it, and to it went like, okay, I just post it, and then people showed support because that's what LinkedIn is. People are very supportive. unless like you get some one-off people, which happens. I mean, that happens everywhere in life. You just ignore those people
Haters
and
exist.
you do what you do.
Haters exist. Can't say anything. Can't do anything.
So he sent me that post like, oh yeah, the post is doing really well. I'm like, yeah, I told you, LinkedIn is good. And
Mm-hmm.
but on another thought, like people have been telling me that I should have my podcast since like a while now. Do you want to start a podcast? Because like we both have too much free time right now. I mean, it's another thing that I keep thinking about,
Yep.
which I don't know. I haven't voiced it to Varun.
Mm-hmm.
Is what happens when both of us like get jobs and have full time work? Like
Mm-hmm.
what happens to this podcast? But we sort of spoke like um consistency is a big issue in life with
Mm-hmm.
everything. So like we have to be consistent with this podcast.
Yep.
So I'm like, if we're deciding to start a podcast, we have to be consistent. And I was like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. Like, consistency is also my thing. So like, why not?
Absolutely. So yeah, one thing led to another. Got on a call, discussed it. We were like, do we even want to consider other names? And we were like, you know what? This kind of makes sense in a
Nope.
lot of ways because that's just what all of us are facing. We'll get more into it. But yeah, one thing led to another. The next day we found ourselves ordering, at least I found myself ordering a mic. The day after that is when we filmed the first episode. So
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
guys saw was 48 hours or maybe at most 72 hours into us kind of deciding to start the podcast and starting it and filming. So if it was a little rough
yeah.
around the edges, that's the
Hmm.
answer for why it was. But yeah, getting back into how it was, why it was.
Wait. But before we get into all of that, you ordering the mic and everything, I want to give the timeline because I have it in my head. So let me
Okay.
just share it.
Okay.
So I think you sent me that post on Friday, which was basically March. So you sent me that post on Friday. You
Mm-hmm.
said, should I post it? I said, let's do it. You did it. Saturday, we're like, should we do that podcast?
Mm-hmm.
You ordered the mic Sunday, which got delivered Monday. And then Tuesday, we were
Yep.
filming. And next Tuesday, 1st April, was when we put out the first video. Guys, we're doing this, it's not an April Fool's joke. So I actually wanted to upload our first podcast episode on 1st April, making it look like a April Fool joke. I just thought it was funny, guys.
But hey, at least thankfully they haven't taken our podcast so far as a joke. People are liking it. I think they are. I hope they are. So we good. We good. We good.
Okay, so getting into how this podcast came to be, we've spoken about that it was just on whim, guys. It was literally on whim.
Mm-hmm.
And the thought behind it was that, there are so many hospitality folks like us who've moved industries.
Mm-hmm.
We know so many of y'all, and y'all have messaged us saying that y'all want to be guests on the show. So
Mm-hmm.
we're excited about that later down the line, getting all those different perspectives. And then so many of us have left India, moved outside,
Mm-hmm.
started a whole new life in a different country. So that's the other aspect of it where we're talking about being immigrants,
Yep.
and we just thought that, people would relate to it and we could build like a community of like-minded
And to
people.
be honest, it doesn't
So
like limit it to just like Indians moving out of Canada, or it doesn't have to like it doesn't
yeah,
really limit itself to anyone who's moving out of hospitality. Let's be fair. Everyone has a fair share of like switch ups that you do. You're not going to be confident of what you're doing at some point in time. And just knowing that you're not the only one in that boat, and
yeah.
everyone out there in life is honestly just winging it one day at a time.
And I think above it all, what unites us is the job hunts, guys. Like, that's the other thing, what we don't talk about, which is common across every industry, every country, looking for jobs, especially when everything around you is falling apart.
The economy is bad, for just to put it very simply. It's not great. I could use worse words for it, but we're not in a great place right now. Things are going to shit. Let's just have each other hold each other up, comfort each other, make ourselves feel a little better about what all of us are kind of going
Or
through.
I feel like, or were things always going to shit, but we just didn't know because now we're like adulting, we're in our 20s and life is happening. And there was the
Possible.
pandemic, which was basically like no one knew what was going on.
Yep.
But it's like now we're more cognizant of what's going around us and we're like, yeah, everything's shit. Life is shit. I don't know what I'm doing. Like quarter life crisis.
Yeah, in some ways, a little more than quarter, sad to say, but in some ways, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And hosting a podcast, having something like that gives us a platform, one, to kind of just speak our minds out, and gives us a platform, hopefully, to maybe make even one person feel better about what they're going through, and make them feel like a little more seen, a little more not alone, I guess. Okay, coming to one thing, Sakshi, that even you don't know of yet. I think I must
Oh.
have briefly told you about this yesterday. But after we put up our
Mm-hmm.
first episode, since we did get a lot of reactions, obviously, most of them, thankfully, pleasant. Everyone's been super
We're good.
supportive.
Yeah.
But there is one thing that I was discussing with my mom just yesterday, actually. And she kind of brought up this concern
Oh.
about how social media can be something that's a little, you're putting your life out there, right? You're putting it out in the
Yeah, I
open.
mean,
Everyone gets to know what you're doing, see what you're
yeah.
doing. And her question to me was that, are you sure you really want to put your life out there? Like,
Oh
do you want to put
no.
everything for everyone to know and all of that?
The dreaded,
And this kind of
the
came,
dreaded question.
this came from, I think, because previously I had had a conversation with her where I had explained to her about how social media technically is, it's fake. Let's put it simply.
Yeah, I
So it,
mean, it's 10% of your life. Like
right,
in reality,
right.
it's just the 10% of your life. You don't show
That's
everything. It's
exact.
not
That's
possible.
exactly what I said, and that's exactly what I had as a conversation with her previously, where I was like, you know what, mom, social media is fake. Don't believe everything that you see. If my life is looking hunky dory on it right now, it's because I'm showing the hunky
Yeah,
dory side of it. So don't think that
exactly.
there's not, like, everything is not all good every day. You have your good days, you have
Of
your bad days,
course.
right?
Of course, I mean, 4 months of Canadian winter, like, who says it's all good and all nice? Yeah, it's snowing outside, but
Yep,
come look at me inside in my hoodie, in my blanket. Like, I don't move. I am a sloth.
yep,
I hibernate.
yep. University assignments, it's a bunch to say the least. And because I had previously told her that social media is fake and everything that you see is not real,
Mm-hmm,
her
mm-hmm,
she
mm-hmm.
posed like a very real question to me where she was like, okay, if social media
Hmm.
is not real, then why is it that this podcast is real? Like, why is it
Ah,
now that you're actually trying
oh
to
my
be all
God.
open about it? And to
Uh,
that, for me, that was pretty simple, because I was like, isn't that exactly the point? Social media so far has been pretty fake and like glossing over everything,
mm-hmm.
making everything seem hunky dory, like everything has rose tinted glasses on. And my simple answer was, that's exactly the point. We want to kind of break away from that, show that it's not all hunky dory, show something that's possibly actually real. And I think that kind of even gave me perspective that about why we're really doing this, right? As we mentioned in the
Oh,
first episode intro, where we're going to be all about talking even about the things that we probably shouldn't admit about. But
yep.
when we're saying shouldn't admit, it's not that we really shouldn't. It's because there's social
Mm-hmm.
constructs around them.
I think especially like coming from some of the South Asian countries, India and other countries, like there's always this taboo about like speaking too openly about things
Yeah.
and like double thinking, triple thinking whatever you're doing and questioning your life. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not just you, it's the way you're brought up, and certain people break out of it.
Yep.
Like we have, and certain people like struggle with it and question it because that's what they were raised with. They don't know anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's difficult, and I understand where your mom's coming from as well, because that's how they were raised, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the mindset that they have.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, things are changing, right?
But yeah, that's kind of exactly the point, and that made things very simple for me, because I was like, hey, if you feel like if you agree that social media is fake, and if you feel like this podcast is real, that's exactly what
Don't believe it.
that. No, but that's exactly what we're setting out to do.
Your conversation with your mom reminds me of this conversation I had with one of our batchmates from IHM Mumbai.
Mm-hmm.
I bumped into him the other day, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I saw y'all are starting this podcast of yours, and it's nice." And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "Yeah, I mean, just doing whatever we're doing, you like, you have to try things." He's like, "Yeah, yeah, of course you have to try things." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, just throw everything at a wall and see what sticks." Like that's literally it.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly how it works, right? Same thing with spaghetti. You throw it at a wall. If it sticks, it sticks.
Yeah, it's cooked then, guys.
But hopefully, we're not going to get cooked in the comments at any point in time. Let's hope we're not as
I hope
roasted.
so. Oh,
But even if that's how it goes, I guess that's how it is.
but we're just winging it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
If only
just take it as it
if I could
comes.
turn my camera around and show my setting right now, it's literally a laptop in front of me. I have like three bulbs flashing in my face. I have like this lanky ass thing that I've attached to my table to
Lanky.
have my phone on it.
While we're talking about the setup, Varun, let's also talk about how long it took us to figure it out. So what y'all are seeing right now, this setup and everything, it we thought it would look nice, like how it is looking right
Mm-hmm.
now, but it actually took us like a tech run, so to speak, to get it. So like a 1 hour tech run where we're like, "Arey, this angle is not looking good. That angle is
Yeah.
okay. There's shadow over here. there's something in my background here. Wait, I need to move my furniture
Yep.
around. So
For those of you who
there
are
was a lot
for
of
those of you who are listening, this makes no sense whatsoever because y'all are only listening to us talk. We could have done this from inside of den where there's absolutely
it didn't
nothing.
matter.
It would not have mattered. But for any of you who are watching on this video platform, a lot of work has gone into this. As Sakshi is saying, like if you see this tiny Pikachu, for those of you listening who have no context again, if you see this tiny Pikachu behind me, it's there for a reason. I placed it there. I don't usually place it there, guys. It's placed somewhere
My
else in
mom
my room.
loves that Pikachu.
I
When she saw our video, her first reaction was Pikachu because she grew up watching Pokemon with us. Like we watched it and she watched it.
So yeah, a little bit of everything that you see around on this frame, it's all incredibly thought out, and it's I think that's exactly what Sakshi is trying to say. Like her room is well, she had to really figure out every little bit.
I literally tested this every surface in the house where I'm like on the kitchen island, where I'm on my desk, where I'm on this other desk, where I'm on my sofa. I think the only place I didn't test out was the bedroom because
Mm.
I cannot do it there anyway. Maybe the balcony. I'm thinking about it. Like once the temperatures warm up, and it's starting to, and I hope it stays that way.
Hmm.
I think the balcony would be nice, but I'm worried about the background noise, of the vehicles and traffic.
Yeah, no, our audio listeners would not have fun with that at all, unless you want
Hmm.
to feel a little bit of the outside. Maybe in the future we can do one podcast where I'm at a park, Sakshi's in a balcony, we're just enjoying nature, and you get all the background sounds of everything.
Yeah, I mean, we're approaching summer, so I think we
Summer.
have to do it at some point.
Yep, yep, for sure.
Yeah. Varun, your conversation with your mom actually made me think of something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you think her worry or like her questions were stemming from the what will people say, or as we say it in India, log kya kahenge, or was it something else?
In some ways, I thought that may have been it because in an Indian society, we're kind of
Hmm.
just conditioned to more of
Yep.
that, where everything is all about understanding how others are going to perceive you. To my surprise,
Sad reality.
yeah, but to my surprise, it wasn't that at all from her
Oh,
on her end. She was kind of just
interesting.
making sure that I know what I'm doing and I'm putting my life out in public
Oh,
and I fully consent to any information that I'm giving out. And
I get it.
yeah, that's kind of just about it. She was just probably being a little
Just being
concerned.
a parent.
Yeah, just being
Just
a
being a
parent, just
parent.
being a parent.
Oh, that's nice of
Hmm.
her. Because I thought that that might be something. Because I know, like growing up, that has been a thing. Like especially with the older generation, like say grandparents,
Hmm.
like they're always thinking from that perspective. Parents, like you said, your mom wasn't thinking about it,
Hmm.
so that's good because they've changed with the times. I feel, and that's nice to hear that she was just being like a protective
Hmm.
parent.
And I hear your mom is getting all excited and sending it on every single WhatsApp
Oh
group
my
chat.
god, she's just my parents, they wanted like a message template from me, sharing the YouTube link and the Instagram link, and then they've shared it in their circles. I have all these aunties from like mom's friends basically that are following our Instagram, and
Hmm.
I'm like, oh wow, I haven't seen this person in like ages. And then I have my cousins who I didn't tell anything,
Hmm.
but my parents told them, and they are
Let's go.
following and commenting. So it's nice, like they are doing the marketing for me. Essentially, we're just doing Instagram, guys.
But also, yeah, we have some incredibly sweet followers and listeners already. Some of you who have shared stories, and we're super, super grateful for that. And thank you so much for just coming along on the journey with us. We're super happy about it.
And in the future episodes, y'all can expect more hospitality stories from us,
Hmm.
our first jobs, moving to a different country, seeing as now we're in Canada, and also job survival, life survival, and job hunting skills.
Hmm.
Hopefully, we can add some value there. And we'd love to hear from you as well about your stories. If y'all don't want to come on as guests, um, just feel free to DM us anonymously, and we can share your stories for you if y'all want them to be heard.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that we missed out on the last episode, guys, we're new to this. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things. We're on all the channels. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Amazon Music, we're on
Let's
Spotify, we're
go.
on YouTube. We're trying to spread ourselves a little thin, but in a way where we want to be available to you wherever you want to listen to us. And even if
Yep.
this is just simple entertainment for you, tune in every Thursday.
See y'all next week.
Bye.